Hello everyone, welcome to today's session. Let us start by giving you all a quick brief on what Octanet is. So, Tech Octanet is a budding startup headquartered in Bhubaneswar, specializing in IT solutions across diverse sectors including e-commerce, real estate, automation, and personalized business application. Our primary focus is to provide affordable services to startups, aiding them into their digital initiatives. In addition to our core services, we are expanding into the corporate training sector, aiming to equip future corporate employees with a solid foundation. We also address student needs by identifying academic project requirements, internship opportunities, and offering comprehensive solutions. We are proud to be incorporated as an organization with the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, registered with MSME, and approved by AICTE for internship programs. Also, our commitment to quality is underscored by ISO 9001 2015 certification, ensuring that every project we undertake reaches highest standards of excellence. Okay, thank you so much. That was all. Let us now stage our instructor and start today's session.
So, good evening, guys. Here is the day 2 of the Java workshop. Am I audible? The sound was very low, ma'am. Now, is it fine? Okay, so how much excited you all people to know more about Java? How's the Josh, guys? Come on. And yesterday, I have asked you people to, have a note on the binary representation of how to represent a decimal number or a number in binary format. Have you people gone through that? Good evening, Saurish. So have you seen the concept of how to represent a number in its binary format? Because it will be useful for us in order to learn the bitwise as well as the shift operators, which we are going to learn today. Guys, come on, answer whether it's yes or no, whether you have learned the concept of binary representation or not. Subha, good, you have learned it. Okay. So, just I'll be saying the topics which we'll be seeing today. We'll be looking into conditional statements and control structures, and also we'll also be seeing the jump statements. And yesterday itself, I have given you an example of how to write a method, but in detail, we'll be seeing of the method declaration part. And if time permits, we'll be going to the Java arrays. Okay. And also, yesterday, some people have asked about to put more code. So today, we'll be having a more hands-on session on conditional statements as well as control structures. So without any further delay, I'll be starting with the session. Before looking into today's topic, let's see more about the bitwise as well as shift operator. So bitwise operators, it is nothing but we are going to operate on the individual bits of a particular value data. Okay, so I'll be telling you how to represent a number in its binary format. So people, a question for you all. Okay, so do you know whether computer understands any high level language, or in which language do machines understand the code? Because we'll be writing code on the high level language, means in the English language, which is quite understood by the humans. But do you people have any idea of how the computer reads each and every line we are writing in our code? Yeah, good. It is in the binary format. Screen is not clear. Now is it clear, Shravani? Yeah, so as you people say, it is represented in the form of binary. Binary is nothing but zeros and ones. So it is also said as the machine understandable language. Okay, how can we get okay? For example, there are several things like we'll be representing generally it as in powers of two. Okay, it is something like I mean 8421, because you can also include 60. So 1 is 2 power 0, 2 is 2 power 1, 4 is 2 power 2, 8 is 2 power 3, 16 is 2 power 4, and it goes on like this. Okay, so there is no end for this. So this is the way in which we'll be writing a decimal representation. So I'll be telling you how we'll be writing. Okay, so if I want to represent a number, let's say now let's take only 8421. Okay, now I want to represent a number 8. So what I'll be doing is, uh, if I add all those 8421, I should get the value as 8. So 8 will be represented as 1 0 0 0, which means the corresponding 8 we do have, we'll be representing it as 1, which means 8 is added to the like we are representing it in binary format. For example, let's take, we want to represent 3. We know 2 plus 1 is 3, right? So what we'll be doing is, in terms of wherever places we are getting 2 and 1, we'll be putting it as 1 1. So this is the format in which we'll be representing 3, because 2 plus 1 is 3. Similarly, when we go to represent 4, or 4 is already been there in this format, 2 power 2 is 4, so we'll be writing 0 1 0 0. Okay, so if you want to represent 5, it is nothing but 4 plus 1 is 5. So in corresponding to that particular value, we'll be just putting 1. So this is the binary representation, and this is commonly how we'll be converting a decimal number into its binary format. So is it fine? So now I'll be saying how we'll be representing, how we'll be performing bitwise operators on these bits. Usually the operations are performed only in this I mean once again, only in this bits. Okay, bits of a particular number. So yeah. First of all, I'll be telling how each and every operations of bitwise works, and then we'll be going to the coding part. Okay. First, when we take the AND operator, yesterday I have said you a thing like, only if we are going to perform some AND operations on two operands. Let's take A and B. AND yields true only if both A and B is true. If either A or B is false, the output is going to be false. Okay. So the binary numbers are 0 and 1. Think 1 as true and 0 is represented as false. Okay. So if you are going to perform binary operators for the numbers 2, let's take A is equal to 2 and B is equal to 3. Okay. Now when we represent A, we'll be getting 8421 rule. This is called as 8421 rule. So we'll be getting 0 0 1 0. Okay. 0 0 1 0 is the binary representation of 2, and when we come to see about 3, the binary representation will be 0 0 1 1. Okay, so 0 0 1 1. So we have to perform the bitwise AND operation for 2 and 3. Okay, so what you do is write it as 0 0 1 0, and parallelly you write B as 0 sorry 0 0 1 1. Now in order to perform the AND operation, you have to check the corresponding values. See, 0 represents false and 1 represents true. Okay, so I have said in AND operation, if either of the operand is false, the output will be false. Okay, so here 0 and 1 is 0, obviously. 1 and 1, true and true is true. 0 and 0 is 0, and 0 and 0 is 0. So here the output will be 0 0 1 0. Okay, when we perform bitwise AND for 2 and 3, we'll be getting output as, now we have to convert this binary into the decimal format. When we see here 0010 is the binary representation of the decimal number 2. So in this example, we must get the output as 2. Okay, so this is how an AND operator works. Are you people clear with this? Because so in similar way only we are going to do OR operation also. So if you are clear with this, we'll go to the coding part and then we'll be explaining the further concepts. People are you clear with this? Guys, are you clear with this? Just we want to apply bitwise and operations on two operands A and B. So what we have to do, the first step is we have to represent A and B. If we are giving A is equal to 2 and B is equal to 3, 2 and 3 are in decimal formats. Yeah, sure, Shavani. So 2 and 3 are generally known as decimal formats when we come in the terms of computer programming. Okay, this is base 10 and binary will be a base 2 value. So first we have to convert the decimal into binary. The binary representation of 2 is 0010 and the binary representation of 3 is 0011. Okay. Now when you are performing AND operation, assume 0 as false and 1 as true. So 0 and 1 is 0. Okay. Which means false and true is false. True and true is true. False and false is false. 0 and 0 is 0. Okay. So similarly, when we are applying bitwise OR operator will be getting bitwise OR. We'll be getting in bitwise OR operation. What we have seen yesterday was if either of the operands is true, the output is going to be true. Only in the condition when A and B is false, we'll be getting the result as false. So 0 and 0, obviously it is 0. I mean, check it. This is the result for AND. Okay. Now for OR, 0 and 0. False and false is false. False and false is 0. 1 and 1, it is 1. 0 or 1, it is 1. So here, it is the binary representation of the value 3. So when we are performing bitwise and for 2 and 3, the output will be, yeah, good for us. So when we are performing bitwise and operation for 2 and 3, the output will be 2. Whereas when we are performing and, it will be, I mean, whenever we are performing and, it will be 2. Whenever we are performing or, it will be 3. So now let's go. So I'm declaring an integer variable 2 and b is equal to 3. Okay. Now I'm going to perform int result equal to a bitwise and b. I'm going to print the result value. So the output is 2. Here we have computed the bitwise and operation. The output is 2. Okay, we are getting 2 as the output. Whenever I'm writing bitwise OR, I'm getting the output as 3. So now it is understandable. Now the people understood this. This is how we'll be performing bitwise and bitwise OR. Okay. So next is the bitwise XOR. XOR will be represented as like this. Okay. Yeah, obviously it is like gate. So do you people know there's all these symbols of XOR gate, OR gate, AND gate, NAND gate. If you know that, it will be easy for you people. And now for the same A and B, we are going to perform the XOR. Okay. In XOR, the condition will be, the truth table will be whenever A and B are same, which means if 0 and 0 is there, the output will be 0. Whenever the both the operands are different, the output will be 1. Here 0 and 0 is same, so it will be 0. Okay. Here 0 and 0 will be 0 and 0 both are same, so the corresponding XOR of 0 and 0 is 0 because both the operands are same. Here 1 and 1, 1 and 1 both the same, so 0 will be the output. Here 0 and 1, they are different, so the output will be 1. So when we represent this in terms of decimal, it is 1. Okay, so when we perform the XOR operation for A and B, we will be getting the output as 1. 1 is the answer. So are you people clear with this? Guys, come on, give me the response soon so that we'll be covering most of the concepts. So this is all about bitwise and bitwise OR and bitwise XOR. So yesterday we had a question like what is the difference between bitwise OR, I mean bitwise and, in the sense what is the difference between, great, I'll clear this. What is the difference okay, what is the difference between this and what is the difference between this and? So this and this I'm not going to run the code. This and is a bitwise and this and is a logical and. So which Java version are you using? I guess it's Java 8. I'm not sure about it, but now I'm using online compiler. Actually, Akshaya, I already have zoomed the screen. Okay, so this and this, the bitwise and this and is the logical and. So this and works in the individual bits of a particular value, and this and operator, logical and operator, it works on the Boolean values. Okay, so this is the difference between bitwise and logical and. Now next is the bitwise complement. So this is an operator that works on a single operand. If you see here, the use cases here, for all the other cases we are using two operands. Here it is we are using only one operand. Okay, so bitwise complement is something like an unary operator. Okay, so I'll be telling about the bitwise complement operator. So let's take 2, A as 2. The binary representation is 0010. And let's take the B value as 3, 0, 0, 1, 1. Sorry. It is a single operand only, right? Okay. So we are having only, it's a single operand. So A is 2. Okay. So now we are going to perform complement of A. That is complement of 2. Okay. Complement of 2 is nothing but we are just going to inverse the bits. If it is 0 here, it will be 1. If it is 0, again it's 0 here, so it is 1. Here it is 1, so it will become 0. Here it is 0, it is 1. So when we compute it, the answer will be 8 plus 4 plus 1, it is 13. 1, yeah, good. 1101. Okay, just we are going to invert the bits. If it is 0, then complement of 0 is 1. If it is 1, then complement of 1 is 0. So as it is a single operand, minus 3, I think we have to take the first complement value. Mm, 1 Okay, I'll check with the first complement. I'll check with the complement operator and I'll let you know. Okay. Uh, so next we'll be seeing the shift, uh, shift left and shift right. Guys, I'll check with this because as per my understanding, when we are performing the first complement, only we will be inverting the bits. But again, I'll see the concept because I think we have to add a single bit here and we have to convert it. We have to perform a couple of operations in order to get the negative number. I'll see to it and I'll let you know tomorrow. Um, then bitwise shift. Okay. For bitwise shift also, we are going to use two operand. First, let's take it as 2 and next, let's take it as 3. Okay. Now, shift left means we are going to shift the bits to the left hand side, and shift right means we are going to shift the bits to the, shift left means we are going to shift the bits to the left hand side, and shift right means we are going to shift it to the right hand side. Okay, so let's take 32, 16, 8, 4, 2, and 1. Okay, so now we have the representation here for 2 and for 3. I do have this. Okay, so if I'm performing 3 left shift 2, it means that first I'll be writing 3. Okay, the binary representation of 3, 0, 0, 1, 1. Okay. Now, here also it will be 0 only, obviously. Now, what I'm going to do is 0, 0, 1, 1, 3, left shift 2. 16, 32, 16, 8, 4. Okay. Let me use paint. I don't know. I think I'll be scribbling a lot, but okay. Let's say 32, 16, 8. Guys, do adjust with my handwriting. 2 and 1. Okay. So first, if we are performing 3 left shift 2, it means that we are going to shift the bits of 3 2 times. Okay. So first we'll represent guys, is paint okay for you all? 0, 0. So this is the binary representation of 3. Okay. So now we want to shift the bits of 3 to the left hand side 2 times. Okay. So whenever I shift it one time, left side I want to shift 0. See, I'll shift this bit to here and this bit to here. So it becomes 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0. Yeah, you're correct, Lavanya. Okay. So this is the first shift. First shift. Okay. So whenever you are performing another shift, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0. Okay. So 3 left shift 2 will be yielding the answer. Now you have to convert this particular binary into the decimal. Okay. So whenever you're converting it, you'll be getting the answer as 8 plus, where is the pointer? So the corresponding one is in 8 and 4. So 8 plus 4 is 12. So 12 will be the answer. Okay. This is in terms of left shift. People, do you understand this? Let me code it to check whether am I on the right path or not. B, left shift A. Yeah, so we are getting the answer 12. 3 left shift 2 will be 12. People, do you understand this? Guys, come on, respond. Okay. Thank you, Kushi. Now, whenever I'm doing a right shift, it is obviously the opposite thing. Okay. So, I'm representing 3, 0, 0, 1, 1. So now I want to do 3 right shift 2. So in the first shift, okay, this bit will go out and this bit will come here. It is 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay. This is the first right shift. Now again, when I'm trying to do next shift, this one will also be discarded, and this 0 will come here, 0, and rest of the thing, everything is 0. Okay, so when we convert this particular binary representation into its corresponding decimal, the output will be 0. Okay, so this is about the right shift, the right shift TA. Okay, so the output is 0. So this is the all about shift operator in Java. And these are all the bitwise operators which we'll be using in Java. Then the shift operator will also be working in the same manner. And whenever you are working with the three shift operators, it's nothing but uh, it works same as the right shift operator, but in the left hand side it will be filling with 0. So guys, do you people understand about the bitwise operators? This is all about it. Just yeah, we take 2 times. Yeah, 1 second. Guys, do you people able to follow me? Are you okay with the bitwise operators? Just like you won't be using bitwise operators much in the coding part whenever you're using competitive programming, but some concepts will be very easy. For example, finding the duplicates also we can make use of bitwise operators. Just you'll be using the bitwise operators like and or that's it. Mostly you won't be doing shift operators and all. So only Kushi is there, I guess, in the call. She's only answering. Come on, guys. If you understand, you can let me know if you didn't understand. Abhi, okay. So next we'll be going into the conditional statements part. Okay. So now it's quiz time. So people, have I asked this question yesterday? What is the other name of ternary operator? And if you people have any doubts regarding yesterday's session, also you can let me know in the chat. Guys, come on. What is the other name of ternary operator? Great, Kushi. It is conditional operator. Yeah. I mean, this was the yesterday's part. Now moving on to the conditional statements. So, as the name suggests, today we are going to see about conditional statements and control structures in Java. Uh, okay, good, Aparna. Okay, conditional statements is something like we are going to perform a specific task based on a particular condition. Okay, so for example, let's take we want to find whether a number is an even or an odd number. For even number, what's the case, and for odd number, what's the case? We are going to check if a number is odd or even. Okay, so we have to check if the number is divisible by 2, then we'll be calling it as even. If it's not, then we'll be calling it as odd, right? So in order to code, uh, it's not biconditional, it's unconditional operator. Okay, so as I think you have two conditions there. It's only one condition which will be specifying in a ternary operator, and two statements will be there. If it is true, then first statement will be getting executed. If it is false, then the next statement will be getting executed. It is a conditional operator and not biconditional. Okay. Yeah, coming into today's topic, in even means n mod, great Shubha. So yeah, even means n mod 2 will be 0. The remainder will be 0 when we are when we are dividing the number by 2. If it's not, then it's an odd number. We want to code it using Java, means we'll be using conditional statements. Okay, so there are if is a conditional statement. Here if you see the flow chart, so here if you see the flow chart, so you're going to give a condition. Okay, if it is true, then one block of the code will be getting executed. If it is not, then another block of code will be getting executed. Okay, and if condition is equal to true, then that particular block will be getting executed, or that or will be said as else here. And if and else are keywords in Java, else another condition will be getting executed. Okay, so we'll be having different it's not like formats. We can use if statement in various ways, like a simple if statement, and if else statement, or if else if later, nested if statement. So so we'll be first seeing about the conditional statements. Okay, yeah. Guys, come on, you can code with me parallelly. If you have any doubts, you can let me know in the chat session. Based on a condition, if a condition is true, then that particular block will be getting executed. If it is false, then another block will be getting executed. Okay, so I thought of teaching you another thing. We have been given int a is equal to 2 or int b is equal to 3. We have defined the values of variables here. What if you want to, like get the input from the user and then print it, or then perform any operations on it? I'll be getting a number from the user and then I'll be printing it. Okay, for that you have to use a scanner object. Scanner, it's, you can name it as SC or something like that. Yes, I'm going to create a new scanner object. This is the default thing. Whenever you want to get the input from the user, you have to specify the statement. And int num, I'm going to get the input from the user and I'm going to store the value which they are giving into the num variable. So num is equal to sc dot, as it is an integer, next int I'll be specifying. Similar to next int, we do have next float, next double, next, or next line. Okay, for if you want to take string as an input, we'll be using next or next line. Okay, so now I'm taking an input from the user and I'm storing it in num. I'll be printing the entered number is, and people who have used Python, there will just be putting comma, but in Java, we'll be using plus. Okay, plus num. So when we run this, okay, I want to import java.util.star or scanner in order to use the scanner object. Yeah, now if I'm giving 54, then it will be saying the entered number is 54. So this is how we'll be taking an input from the user. Here I have just printed it. Now I'll be performing I mean whether to check if a number is odd or even using conditional statements. Okay, yeah, I'll give a print statement here. Enter a number in order to find if it's even or odd. Okay, and I'm getting a number and I'm storing it in num. So the general syntax of if is, if you have to give a condition here. Okay, and if this condition is true, this block of statements will be getting executed. Okay, or if the condition is false, if the condition fails, then the else block will be executed. And you should not mention any, condition in else block. Else block is something, if this condition met, then I'll be going with this code, or else I'll be coming to this next block. So here, if num, as Shubha said, if num mod 2 is equal to 0, then I'll be printing it as even number. Out dot println number, the number which we have plus is an even number. Okay, else if the number is not even, obviously it's going to be an odd number, right? So system dot out dot println number plus is an odd number. Okay, So sorry. You have to mention semicolon everywhere. Here also I have missed the semicolon. Okay, so enter a number in order to find if it's even or odd. I'm giving 20. 20 is an even number. And whenever I'm giving something like an odd number, 35, it says 35 is an odd number. So what actually runs behind this conditional statement is if it computes num mod 2. So 35 mod 2. Mod is actually an operator which we'll be using to find the remainder. 13 mod 2. 13 mod 2, the remainder will be 1. Okay. So it's not equal to 0. 1 is not equal to 0. So obviously this condition fails and it comes to the else block and this statement will be getting executed. And in case of even number, 20, let's take 20. 20 mod 2 is equal to 0, then this statement will be getting executed. People are clear with the if else block? If else statements. So here, this is the if else statement. Even you can have if statement without an else block. See, I'm just going to print if a number is even. That's it. I am not worrying about whether if it's an odd number or something. So 20, it's an even number. If I'm giving, let's check. If you're giving an odd number, what's the case? Nothing is printed. Okay, so having an if statement without an else block is something called a simple if statement. Okay, whereas when you have an if and in order to catch that if statement, you're having an else block means it is called as if else statement. Next, we'll be seeing if else if statement. Okay, if else if later. Okay, now let's suppose take this is code number 1. Okay, we'll be going to next code. So people, are you working parallelly along with me? If you have any doubts, you can ask. Are you people doing it and have you completed the even or odd program? A quick check, guys. Come on, people, do respond. Yes, thank you, Blessy. Yeah, good guys. So now next we'll be seeing the if else if later part. Yeah, Shravani, we can also write java.util.scanner. It do works, but the thing is, many a times we'll be using many collections, so that time we won't be remembering what is the exact thing we want to import. So if you're giving star, all those libraries will be getting imported. You can also give. It works. Okay. Yeah, good. So next we'll be seeing the if else if later. Okay. So I'll be giving a number. You have to check uh, if the number is divisible both by 5 and 3. Okay, for example, let's take the input, a sample test case. Okay, the input is going to be 15. I want to check if a given number is divisible by both 5 as well as 3. Okay, if it is not, then again I will be checking if a number is divisible by 5 and or if it is divisible by 3. I mean, if my input is 15, I want to check 15 is divisible by 5 and 3. So my output should be 15 is divisible by both 5 and 3. Okay. For example, I'm giving 20. 20 is divisible only by 5, but it's not divisible by 3. So I want to print the output as 20 is divisible by 5. And next case will be, let's take 9. 9 is divisible only by 3, but it is not divisible by 5. So the output must be, or the given number is divisible by 3 and not by 5. Okay, for this condition we'll be using if else if later. Okay, so I'm getting a number from the user and I'm storing it in num variable. First of all, I want to check if the number is divisible by both 5 and 3. So I'll be giving if statement. If num mod 5 equal to 0 and means both the conditions must be true, then only this block will be getting executed. And num mod 3 is equal to 0 Then I'll be printing system, I mean, I'll be printing num is divisible by both 3 and 5. Okay, this is the first condition. Next, I want to check if the number is not divisible by 5 and 3. If the number is divisible by only 3, I'll be putting it as it is divisible by 3, for which I'll be using else if. Yeah, great, Shubha. So else if. In else if also, the syntax will be else if, the condition, and the block. If this condition holds true, I'll be executing this block of code. Okay, so else if num mod 3 is equal to 0, it means that it is divisible by 3 but not by 5. Okay, class name is hello world. Yeah, Samira, yesterday I have said only if you are writing, if the class is not being specified as public, uh, it's not the condition. If you are putting public here, public class hello world, then the name of the file must be hello world.java. If it's simply class, it can be hello world and it can be main here. I'll be showing you the example. Okay. Else if part, we are going to check if it's divisible by 3, or else part will be giving, just copy pasting. It is divisible by 5 but not by 3. Okay. Yeah, as Samira's doubt, I'll be giving public class here. It's okay. Legal start of expression. Oh, it's double equal to. Thank you. Thank you, guys. I mean, here we are getting, here it's getting compiled, okay, but whenever you are writing in traditional programming, if you are specifying public class, then the file name must be the name of your class.java. If it is simply a class, then the class name can differ from the file name. Okay, you people can check with whenever you're writing a traditional way of writing the Java file in a notepad, and then compiling it by using command prompt. So yeah, I'm giving 15. It's saying 15 is divisible by both 3 as well as 5. So next I'll be giving the input as 9. It is divisible only by 3 but not by 5. And again, let's give something 20. It is only divisible by 5 but not by 3. So this is known as if else if later. So if condition, I'm giving a particular condition. Yeah. If it is true, then this block of statement. This is known as block. Okay. This block of statement will be getting executed. If it's not, then again it goes for this else if. If this condition is true, then this block will be getting executed. If both the condition fails, then the code will come to else block. Guys, is this example clear for you? Condition for value 23. Oh, okay. I just want to 23. It's not okay. 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 Yeah, you are correct. So I'll be giving num mod. If num mod 5 is equal to 0, then I want to give this as the. So if it's a number which is not divisible by 3 or else by 5, I should give that in else block. Number is not divisible by 5 and not by 3. Thank you, Nandini. Okay. So just in order to tell you an example, I have written this code. Okay. Okay. So next we'll be moving into the nested if concept. I'll close it. Okay. Nested if. Nested means you know the meaning, right? If inside if. Okay. So we can have an if block inside an if block. Okay. So can we do prime number sum using if else? Prime number sum in the sense. Okay, prime number. Yeah, you can. No, in order to check prime numbers, you if you're giving a file, let's say, okay, you want to check whether only one is existing as a factor for that particular number which you're giving input, because of which we want to go to while loop. We have to go to the concept of while loop in order to check whether a number is prime or not. I mean, let's do that today. Don't worry. Yeah. Now next is the nested if concept. In nested if, we can have if block inside an if block. Let's take the similar example. Okay, there I have used and condition. In previous example, for checking whether a number is divisible by both 3 and 5, I have used and operand, right? So now I'm going to use nested if. So if num mod 3 equal to 0, okay, if this condition is true, I want to check whether the number is also divisible by 5. If num mod 5 equal to 0, then I'll be saying it as divisible by, both 3 and 5. Okay. If num mod 3 is divisible by 0, but it is not divisible by 5, then I'll be giving it as divisible by 3, but not by 5. Okay. And if it's this is the case, so just I'm going to take an input of the number and I'm going to see whether it works fine or not. Divisible by 3 but not by 5. Okay. And one more condition also we can. Else block. Okay. It means in else block also we can have if else. If the number is not divisible by 3 but it is divisible by 5, then we will be saying it as not divisible by 3 but it is divisible by 5. Okay. Or we'll be saying not divisible by, I'm getting more typo, divisible by both 3 and 5. Okay, so I'll be explaining you this code. We can use if else block inside an if and inside an else block. So I'm going to check if a number is divisible by 3. If it is divisible by 3, I'm checking whether it's divisible by 5 also. If it is the case, I'll be printing both 3 and 5. If this is not the case, it means that the number is divisible by 3, but it is not divisible by 5. So I'm printing this statement. Now I'm coming to the else part. So whenever we are taking, for example, let the input be 20. Okay, 20 mod 3 is obviously not 0. So the pointer will come to the else block. Here I'll be checking If num mod 5, 20 mod 5 is equal to 0, if that's the case, I'll be printing it is not divisible by 3, but it is divisible by 5. Or in the else part, I'll be saying not divisible by both 3 as well as 5. So it is not divisible by both 3 and 5. So this is the concept of nested if. This is divisible by both 3 and 5. So this nested if concept is clear to you guys? Guys, you people can respond whether it is clear to you or not. Yeah. Error in line 8. Which line? Yeah, great. Shravani, could you be more specific on, which code error was there? All right, great. So this is about the conditional statements if else. Okay, then we'll be going to the switch statement. Switch statement in Java, it is used in order to check, let's say, uh, I should have multiple conditions. Okay, we'll be calling it as different multiple cases. For example, let's take I'm going to print whether a number is 1, 2, or 3. I'll be using different conditions. So I'll be getting input from the user, the number. Okay, and in the first case, I'll be giving if the number is 1, then I'll be printing it as the entered number is 1. If it is 2, I'll be giving it as the entered number is 2. If it is 3, it is 3. And we do have a default value in case of switch statement. Okay, so this is the flowchart for the switch statement. So here I'll be giving an expression and there will be multiple cases. Okay, and if a particular case is met, we'll be giving break statement also. I'm giving an expression. Let's say I'm giving a number. I want to check whether the given number is 5 or 10 or 15. That's it. Okay, so I'll be giving case 5. If the number is 5, then this statement will be getting executed. Then break will be applied. Break will be applied and the control will be coming out of the switch statement. Okay, and if the number is 10, I'll be giving the number entered is 10 and break statement will get out of the else switch block. Similarly, we can give up to n cases. And let's take I want to check if the number is 5, 10, or 15. What if I give number 2? Okay, uh, like else block, we do have a thing here. If none of the cases here is being matched, we'll be going with the default value. So in default, we'll be giving a statement and that statement will be executed if the multiple cases are not met. Okay, so let's see an example for switch case. Okay, so the general syntax of switch is switch uh, on what on which variable or on which thing you're going to apply some switch cases. Okay, so now I want to apply switch on the num variable. So switch num, you want to give the different cases in this block. Okay, so the use case here is I want to check if num is 5 or 10 or 15. I want to check whether the given number lies in this category. If it is not, then I'll be telling to print it is in neither 5 nor 10 nor ma'am, I think you need to give if else. Either way you can use if else because whenever we are taking a particular problem, there exists many logics. So it is up to you in order to follow which logic, and you can play with the if else blocks. Okay. Yeah, so here the default value will be something, will be saying the number is not 5 or 10 or 15. Okay, so switch, I'm applying it to the num variables. I'm giving case 1, so case 5. If the number is 5, then I'm going to give system I'll check whether this works. I want to give a break. Yeah, cool. Okay, so I'm going to apply switch on number variables. I'm checking first case whether the number is 5. Okay. It doesn't mean that I said case 1, case 2, case 3. It is not like you want to give case 1 here. Case is the keyword and you have to give the value here to which the num variable must be mapped. Okay. So here the num variable, if the num variable is 5, if this is getting matched, then we'll be printing system.out.println number is 5 and we'll be breaking this with statement. Okay. Next cases, if it is 10, the number entered is 10, then we'll say number is 10 and we'll break. If the case is 15, we'll say the number is 15 and we'll break. Okay. Or else default value number is not 5 or 10 or 15. So let's run this. So I'm giving a number which is not 5 or 10 or 15. So whenever I'm giving the input as 2, I'm getting this. So what it does is switch case is applied on num. So here num is 2, right? Now it checks case 5 whether 2 is equal to 5. No. Then it comes to this second case whether 2 is equal to 10. No. It again comes to the next case whether 2 is equal to 15. No. So all the cases are getting failed here. So what it does is it comes to the default value. Default was to print not 5, 10 or 15. Let's take I'm giving 10. Okay. So the flow will be, it will be coming to the switch case. Okay. Case 5, 10 is not equal to 5. So this case is not true. Then the next case will be coming. Case 10, 10 is equal to 10. So it will be printing number is 10 and the break statement will be executed, which, like the control breaks out from the switch statement. So are you people fine with the switch case? And we can use switch case will be helpful in order to mention the code reusability, the sense the code readability also. Guys, are you clear with this? Can we move to the next concept? And are you people doing parallelly with me? If you have any doubts, you can put in the chat so that I can clear. Yeah, it's clear. Okay. Ma'am, will you send an attendance link at last? That you have to check with your team. Okay. So, I think the recording will be available because as it's a live session, it will be available. Okay. So this is all about the switch case. So can we create an example? See. Okay. So I want to check the months of the calendar. Okay. So if the see, I'm not sure about the attendance link, Sridevi, but I think the recorded session will be available for you in the live section. Okay, you discuss that with your team because I'm not sure about the attendance link and all. Okay, guys. So months of the calendar, it's something we'll be saying. If the user is giving 1, it should print January. If the user is giving 2, it must print Feb. If it is 3, it is March. Okay. So same. 1 means it is Jan. 2 means it is Feb. 3 means it is March. Hmm. 4 means it is. Yeah, I'm not going to write until 12. Okay. 4 means it is April. Okay. And apart, if you're giving something like 5 means, let's say the default value is doesn't fall under the 4 above categories. So it is something like the corresponding above April. Okay. But also you have to check only user is giving input as only up to 12. Okay. If they are giving 13 means we cannot go and again, tell 13 as January. Okay. It depends on the requirement or depends on the problem. So let's take, okay, I'll run this. I'm giving the input as 1. So January is being printed. So here I have given case 1, case 2, case 3. It is not the numbering of the cases. It is just to check whether this num variable matches with the thing whichever I'm giving here. Okay. If it is 4, then it is April. So this is all about the switch case. Now these are all the conditional statements. Okay. Now we'll be going to the control statement. Control statements, we do have many control statements in Java. It is for loop, it is while loop, and do while loop. Okay. uh Actually, the term control statements, okay, if you want loop control statements can also be called as looping statements. So why do we need a loop statement? For example, let's take I'm going to perform a task repetitively. Okay, for example, I want to print the numbers from 1 to 5. I can go with for loop. Okay, it eases my way. I mean, it makes me to code in a very easier manner instead of writing system.out.println 1 next. So I mean system.out.println 2, 3, 4, 5. What I'll be giving is I'll be using a for loop in order to iterate a range of values. Okay, and when coming to see about the syntax of the for loop, this is the syntax. This is the general syntax. Okay, for is the keyword for defining whether the loop is a for loop. Int I is equal to 5. This is called as the initialization part, where you will be initializing the value of the variable I. Next is the condition. It checks whether this condition is met, and only until this condition is true your for loop runs. If this condition breaks, or if this condition becomes false, obviously your for loop will break. Okay. Updation is you are going to update whether how to increment the value of I. Okay, so we'll be seeing an example. I mean, okay, let's get this. I want to print numbers from 1 to 10. Okay, using for loop. So what I can do is, for is the keyword initialization. Int I is equal to 1. From 1 I have to print till 10. I is less than or equal to 10. You can either put like this or I less than 11. It also works. I is less than or equal to 10. I plus plus. I'm going to print the I values. Okay. So now when I run this, okay, I'm getting wait. The user input is not needed in this example, right? So I'm going to print the numbers from 1 to 10. Okay, so first, in order to tell how this for loop runs, first, okay, so first I will be, let's put a table I, then whether this condition I is less than or equal to 10 is being met. Okay, now the increment operation, I, guys, please do adjust with this, but just in order to make the concept very clear, and now initially I holds the value 1, right? 1. Now i's initial value is 1. I have initialized this to 1. Now the condition will be checking either 1 is less than or equal to 10. Obviously 1 is less than 10, right? So this condition will be getting executed. Okay, system.out.println I. Now I holds the value 1. 1 is being printed. Okay, next I is being incremented. Okay, I is being incremented to 2. Now the value of I is 2. Now the condition is being checked whether 2 is less than or equal to 10. I mean, this condition is true, then system.out.println. Now I value is 2, so 2 is being printed. Okay, now the i's value is being incremented. Now I becomes 3. Again it goes like this: 3 is less than or equal to 10. The condition is true, so the statement, println statement, will be getting executed. Next it will be turning into 4 and something like that. Now I said until this condition is met only the this block will be getting executed, right? Now let's take the condition as 10. I'm skipping all these steps. So 10 is less than or equal to 10, right? So this statement is getting executed and 10 will be printed. Now 10 will be incremented 11. Now I holds the value 11. Okay, 11, is 11 less than or equal to 10? Obviously no. 11 is neither less than 10 or 11 is not equal to 10. This condition, it false. This time the loop breaks. As this condition is false, this time the loop breaks, and it comes out of this for loop. This is how the general for loop execution will be there. Okay, so are you people okay with the execution of the for loop? Guys, do you have any doubt in terms of how a for loop works? Okay, you people are clear with this. Others, I think only Kushi and Subha are active, and Rishikesh, yeah, no doubt. Great. Okay, so as I have said, here it's the initialization part. Here it's the condition. Here increment. Even I can, if I want to, print the even numbers from 1 to 10. Okay, so I'll be initializing I is equal to 2. As we know, 1 is not a even number. 1 to 10, I want to print the even number. We know 2, 4, 6, 8. Like we can either we can give using I mean, one second, either we can use an if else block here or directly we can use. Okay, now I can give I is equal to I plus 2. Now what it does is 2 will be getting printed because I is equal to 2, 2 is less than or equal to 10. So 2 will be getting printed. Now I will be incremented, I is equal to I plus 2. So 2 is equal to 2 plus 2, which means it becomes 4. It checks whether 4 is less than or equal to 10. It will be getting printed. Now 4 is equal, I is equal to I plus 2. I am incrementing it by 2. Can you say patterns logic, ma'am, to write a program using for loop? Sure. Sure, Subha, I'll be saying. Okay, but in order to write in order to write loops, in order to put the patterns by using for loop, you need a nested loops. Okay, let's try it out today. So this is how a loop works. Okay, now if it is a nested loop, I'll be saying the logic for the nested loop, and then we'll see the patterns on this, and then we'll be going to the while loop. Okay. um as I said, nested means into something. Nested if means if inside if. Nested loops means I'm going to write a loop inside another loop. Okay, so I is equal to 1 to 10, or 1 to 4, I plus plus, or I can also give I is equal to I plus 1. Okay, now I'm going to give another example. For int j is equal to 1, j is less than I, j plus plus. I'm going to print the star. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, first I'll check whether it's running fine or not. Yeah, I'm getting a pattern here, but the thing is sound equal to j. Yeah, right. Now, for pattern printing, we'll be usually using nested loops. Okay, I'll be telling the logic behind this. Okay, now uh, let's take, okay, I, we have to check whether this condition I is less than or equal to 4 is being met. Only if the condition holds true, the this for loop will be executed. Okay, and now we have to know the value of j. Next we have to check the condition j is less than or equal to I. Next we have to print star, and then we'll be coming to that print and part next. Okay, okay, so here, first of all, I holds the value 1 initially, right? I holds the value 1, so 1 is less than or equal to 4, so the condition is true. So now what it does is, it goes to the next for loop block. Now j, here initially j is equal to 1. Okay, so now j's value is 1. Now we have to check whether j is less than or equal to I. 1 is less than or equal to i's value is 1 here, right? 1. If it is true, then what I'm going to do is I'll be printing star. I'll be printing star. Okay. Next. Next. Again, this inside for loop will be getting executed. Now j's value will be turning into 2. J's value will be incremented to 2. Okay. Now the condition is being checked whether 2 is less than or equal to 1. Obviously not, right? Obviously 2 is greater than 1. It is not less, or 2 is not equal to 1. So what it does is, this condition false. This condition is false. So this for loop breaks, and this statement will be getting executed. Okay. This statement is just to print, just to move the pointer to the next line. So now the pointer, the I'm printing this. Sure, Shavani, I'll be explaining you. Using while loop, yeah, I'll be explaining. So now the pointer comes here, system.out.println. Okay. Now the value of I will be getting incremented. Now the value of I will be 2. Okay. Now the condition is being checked whether 2 is less than or equal to 4. As this condition is true, then the control goes to the inner for loop. Okay, now j's value is again 1 from the beginning. 1. The condition is checked. 1 is less than or equal to 2. Obviously 1 is less than or equal to 2, then a star is being printed. Okay, so here we'll be printing another star. Next, when j becomes 2, next j becomes 2. Okay, then the control goes to this for loop only. J becomes 2. 2 is less than or equal to 2. As 2 is equal to 2 is true, we'll be printing another star. Okay, so we'll be printing another star. Next, now j will be incremented, it will become 3. 3 is less, it checks the condition whether 3 is less than or equal to 2. As this is not the as this condition fails, what it does is the control will break out of the for loop. Okay, now this line will be getting executed, system.out.println. So now the pointer will come here, and again it starts from here. So usually when we are printing the patterns, the for loop represents the number of rows. Okay, so here my I goes from 1 to 4, which means 1 2 3 4. 4 is inclusive here, so I'm having 4 rows here. Okay, so the first outer for loop is for specifying the number of rows of your patterns, and the inner for loop is for specifying the rows. Even while loop also we can do pattern programs, but as I'm comfortable with I'm comfortable with for loop, I'll be going with for loop. The assignment for you is you have to like print the patterns by using while loop. I think whenever we are taking patterns, usually you go with the for loops because it makes us our task very simple. Okay, so here also, I mean, Shravani, are you having any pre knowledge of while loops? Because you keep on asking about while loops. Yeah, we can use while loop here, but I think going with for loop will be easier for me. I don't know about you people. So this is a simple thing. If you want to modify, we can give I, and guys, trust me, like first of all, as a beginner or as an intermediate, you have to be very good in pattern printing, because in some companies they might ask you to print the patterns. Okay, and the patterns will range from easy to difficult. So yeah, so this is some kind of pattern, or this is also kind of pattern. So there will be more like more patterns which will be very complex. So try to learn all the pattern printing concepts because it helps you during the placements time. Okay, so this is all about for loop. Guys, do you understood this execution part of nested loops? Because this is quite very important whenever you are taking the problems like pattern printing or some complex things. You have to make it very clear. You have to know how actually a nested loop works in order to crack all the pattern printing problems. Yes, ma'am. Mr. OV, can you let me know your name, because I'm not sure about the attendance link. Guys, what about others? Do you get the nested loops concept? If you're people okay with this, then we'll be going to while loop. Yeah. Vedant Aher. Good. What about Kushi and Sudha? Yeah. Subha, sorry. Okay, so this is all about nested loops. Next, as I said, uh, we do have different while loops in Java for while and do while. Okay, next we'll be seeing the while loop. Mm, guys, how's the Josh? We do have another 40 minutes. Are you people working parallelly with me? While loop. Okay, so the general syntax of while loop is while condition a block of statement will be getting executed, and even for while Vedant, super. So even for while, okay, only until the condition is true, the while loop will be getting executed. If the condition is false, the loop breaks. Okay, and the pointer comes out of the loop. Okay, so that is being set here. Okay, mostly for and while both, works in a similar manner. And this is the flow chart. You're giving to give a start. You're starting the algorithm. You're giving some condition. Until that condition is true, uh, these statements will be getting executed, which is inside the for loop. If the condition breaks, obviously the loop breaks. Okay, so same. I'll be printing numbers from 1 to 10 using for loop. Okay, I mean using while loop. So I'm giving int num as 10. Okay, now I'll initialize it as 1. While while num is less than or equal to 10, I'm going to print it. And I'm going to increment. And the syntax is quite different from a for loop. Here we'll be doing the initialization part. While is the keyword. We'll be giving a condition here, and we'll be giving a block of statements. Okay, this is the block of statements. And the initialization part is being done here. Increment or decrement. And guys, trust me, like in a while loop, if you're not giving the increment or decrement part, it'll be a major issue when you're writing. Okay, so this is all about it. From 1 to 10 we are printing it. Now if you want to increment by 2, num is equal to num plus 2 or num plus 3, let's say 1, then 1 plus 3 it is 4. 4 is less than or equal to 10, condition is true, then 4 is getting executed, 4 is being printed. Then 4 plus 3 is 7, 7 is less than or equal to 10, so 7 is being printed. And 10 is less than or equal to 10, so it is being printed. Next, the after 10, the num will become 10 plus 3, 13. As 13 is greater than 10, the loop breaks. Okay, yeah. This is all about the while loop. And what to say. Mm, 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 mm. I haven't done any pattern printing programs. I mean using while loop. Okay, great. This is all about the while loop, and there is quite a difference when we're using while and do while. Okay, so the do while structure will be while. Okay, and we'll be giving do the condition here. Okay, in next we'll be seeing the do while loop. I'm just giving a hint here. Whenever we are writing a do while loop, at least once the while part will be getting executed. I mean, yeah. So while the condition, so the first the the condition, the while loop will be getting executed, then only it checks for the condition. Okay, I mean, I think we have to put like this. While, yeah, wait, I'll be checking it. Num is equal to 1. Let me check, guys, now. Oh. Thank you. While num is greater than or num is less. Thank you, Shravani. Actually, the thing is, like, again, Java, and again, while you're coming to basics, some syntaxes you may forget. Yeah, sorry, guys. So here, the syntax will be do, then while. Okay. In do while loop and while loop, there is a minor difference. Okay, both works in a similar manner, but here, before checking this condition, the do part will be executed once. So first, when you're coming into the do while loop, first the do part will be getting executed. So here, one will be printed. Okay, then only it will be going and checking into this condition. One will be printed and one will be incremented to 1. Then only it will be going to the condition to check whether num is less than or equal to 10. Which I mean is, for the very first time when we are using do while loop, the do part will be getting executed. Okay, and then only it goes for the while condition and it will be getting checked. So this is all about while loop and do while loop. So guys, are you clear with while and do while? Usually you can in lead code you'll be having some problems, like they'll be given, like the test case will be something like this. Okay, I usually use while loop only in that, but because I'm very comfortable with for loop, the okay, so the yeah, we'll be learning only core Java. So 3, let's say the first line is the number of elements. Okay, and or the number of times which is to be executed, and I want to get the input from the user 3 times. Okay, 1, 2 and 3, and I want to print all those things. Okay, uh only in order to generate the number of test cases I'll be using while loop. I'll be giving you an example. Okay, my input will be first input. If the user give 3 as input, so 3 times I want to take the input from the user and I want to print it. Okay, let's see that example here. Num is equal to, yeah, you can give 7. You can even give num plus plus inside while loop. Num plus plus is actually, it is equal to num is equal to num plus 1. Okay, sc dot next int. Now you're going to get the number of test cases. Okay, so if the user is giving 3, then 3 times you want to take the input from the user. Okay, and you have to print it. So while num minus minus is greater than 0, this is not something kind of arrow and all. You're just decrementing the number, and whenever you're decrementing until it is greater than 0, you're going to run the loop. Okay, so inside I'll be getting input from the user. Sure. Actually, Nikita, I think I have shared already the syllabus which I'm going to take in this entire session. No problem. I'll be showing it now. Se.nextend, and I'm just going to print all the numbers which the user is giving. Okay. Even you can give the increment or decrement part here also, Shravani. I'm giving 2. Okay. We didn't get any syllabus. I'll be showing you. Int while num minus minus is greater than 0, or num is 3. Yeah, enter a number. So I will be entering 1. 1 is being printed. 2 is being printed. Now the control stops. So usually for this only I use while loop whenever I'm doing competitive programming, because I guess for me for loop is quite very simple than while loop. Okay. Now let's see a coding question. Like as Shravani asked, let's try to print, you know, to check if a number is prime or not using while loop. Guys, are you clear with while and do while loop and the difference between them? Do while is nothing. Do while is quite similar to while loop, but the thing is, the do part will be executed at least once. Even if the initial condition of while fails, also the do part will be getting at least once. So before checking the condition, this block will be getting executed, and then only the condition will be checked. Okay, guys, are you people clear with? Yeah, okay. What about others? Only Nikita is listening to my lecture, the so-called lecture. So come on, guys. How is Josh? Clear. Okay. Clear. Okay. What about Kushi? Okay, guys. Great. Okay. So now we'll be trying to print. Check if a number is prime or not. Okay. First of all, what is the initial condition for a number to be prime? The thing is, only it must be having factor 1 and the number itself. Okay. So what we are going to do is we are going to take the input from the user in order to check a particular number is prime or not. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to iterate a loop from 2 to that number. For example, let's take the number is 5. Okay. So from 2 to 4, I'm going to create a while loop, and I'm going to check if there exists a factor for the number 5, okay, such that 5 mod these numbers are 0. If 5 mod 2 is 0, then 5 is a prime number, but still I say if the number which the user gives is divisible by 2 to, wait, if the number given if the user gives a number, okay, you want to just iterate from 2 to num minus 1. Okay. If the number modulus this number's range is 0, then the prime number is not prime. Okay, so we are excluding 1 because that number can have 1 as its factor, and the number can be divisible by itself also. So that's why we are going till num minus 1. Okay. Mm, let me do check 5. So while it's greater than or equal to 2, if num mod, no, okay. Mm, let's say int I is equal to num minus 1, while I is greater than 2, just going to do if num mod I is equal to 0. Guys, let me, I mean, I'll code first and I'll tell you. If is prime, hmm, boolean true, yeah, I minus minus. Okay. 7 prime number, 10 composite. Okay, guys. So here what I have done is I'm taking an input from the user and I'm just going to check. We know one is neither prime nor composite. So I'm giving an initial condition. If number is 1, then I'm going to print it neither prime nor composite. If the number is greater than 2 only, I'm going to check this condition. So initially I'm having an variable is prime, which is of boolean data type, and I'm giving it as true. Okay. And I do have, and thank you, Shravani, for that compliment. And we are going to give, I mean, we are going to have a variable I, which is num minus 1, because if the input is giving the value as 5, I want to iterate from 2 to 4 only, because 5 mod 5, if it is 0 also, it means the number is prime. Okay, so we want to check only from 2 to that num minus 1, we'll be having any, like remainder as 0 or not. And while I is greater than or equal to 2, I'm just going to give the condition. Up to this, the loop runs. Okay, now I'm going to check if num mod I is equal to 0. The number here is 10. Okay, the i's value initially will be, 9. It checks 10 mod 9 is equal to 0. No. I mean, 9 mod 8 is equal to 0. No. But when the pointer of I comes to 2, 10 mod 2 is equal to 0. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm just converting int is prime as false, and I'm breaking. So when I give break statement inside a while loop, the pointer comes out of the while loop, and again the condition is not being checked. And for each iteration, I'm decrementing the I value. Now you can give like this, or this is equal to s prime is equal to true. You can give either. I have said that if the condition holds true, then we are going to print this. So you can either give is prime double equal to true, or also you can give either is prime. Okay, if you give is prime itself, already that value is true here. Okay, so I'm just checking uh, if it's true. If it's true, I'm printing prime number. If it has factors other than 1 and the number itself, here itself it will be getting, the condition will be getting true, and this prime will be converted into false, and the statement will be broken from the while loop. So I'm just going to check in the edge part if it's an composite number or not. So is this logic clear? Sure. Ma'am, can you say to print prime numbers up to a given number? um okay, so I think we can write a method for that, because for finding the, for finding the prime numbers from 1 to a particular number which is being given, first of all we have to iterate from 1 to that particular number. Okay, if I'm giving till 10, just give me the prime numbers from 1 to 10. Okay, so I want to check whether 1 is a prime number or not, whether 2 is a prime number or not, 3. So I want to iterate from 1 to 10 and we have to check it. So I'll do that. Okay. Um. So let's put this inside a method. Static void is prime. We are going to pass a num variable. Okay. So okay. Enter the number until which. Is my screen not visible? It's not clear. Now is it? Enter the number up to which you want to find. Okay. So I'm getting in a number. Okay. So for int 1 to n, I'm going to run a for loop. I'm going to check. Okay, let's keep something like this. It's not a void function, it's a boolean function in order to check if a number is prime or not. Okay, I'm just going to return is prime. If I is not equal to 1 only, I'm going to pass this into boolean prime is equal to is prime of I if prime. I'm just going to print let me check and then I'll be explaining the code. Yeah, great. Okay, so now what I'm doing is nothing. I'm just creating a method, boolean method, which returns boolean for me. Okay, either true or false. If the number is prime, then it will be returning true. If not, it will be returning false. Okay, so in this method I'm passing number Okay, the same logic which we have followed to find whether a number is prime or not. Here I'm not going to print anything, just I'm going to return the value of is prime, whether it's true or false. Okay, now in the main function I'm getting an input from the user and I'm going to run the loop, run a for loop from 1 to n. Okay, I know 1 is neither prime nor composite, so if I is not equal to 1, then I'm going to execute this block of code. Okay, now as the return type of this is prime function is boolean, I have to assign the result into another boolean variable. So I have created another boolean variable of prime and I have called the method is prime and I'm going to pass the number 1. I'm going to pass the number I for each iteration. Okay, so if the condition is true, then I'm going to print the number. So first, the value of I is 1, it goes I is equal to 1, so nothing will be getting executed. Then I will be equal to 2. Okay, as 2 is not equal to 1, it goes to this statement. It checks whether 2 is prime or not. Okay, as 2 is prime, the is prime will be true, so it will be returning true here. Okay, now the prime will be having the value true. So again we are going to check if prime is true, then we are going to print the prime number. So is this fine, Varshika? Guys, is this clear to everybody? Yeah, great. It's clear. Okay. What about Varshika? Is it clear now? Guys, what about others? Shubha, okay. Yeah, okay. So the thing is, like according to according to the use case, you have to just reframe the code whichever you want. Okay, clear, great. So will you people able to do the multiplication table of a particular number? If the user is giving a particular number, you are supposed to perform multiplication table. Okay, so I think I don't want to take. I don't want to show an example for multiplication table, right? Okay, so let's clear this code. So now next, let's see. I'm going to print the factorial of a number. Guys, does anybody know what is a factorial of a number? I think you might have learned in max. Enter the number for which you have to find. Great. Factorial. So for others who don't know, factorial means, for example, if the number is it's blur. Now is it fine? Quality is too low, map not visible. Is my screen not visible? I'm having I mean, is this fine? Because in another laptop I do have the live it's going on, so my screen is visible and it's clear, not visible. Okay, fine. So for others who don't know what do you mean by factorial, okay, so if I'm giving a number as 5, then factorial of a number is 5 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. Okay, this is a factorial. So when we compute this, it is going to be 120. So Factorial of 5 is 120. So we are going to implement the logic of factorial of a number with the help of for loop, or even you can go with while loop. As I'm very comfortable with for loop, I'll go with for loop. First of all, I'm going to have the default value for factorial as 1. Okay, so for int I is equal to 1 to that particular number. I'm not getting the input number right. In num is equal to se dot next. Guys, if you have any doubts, you can ask in the chat window. Okay, I is less than or equal to num I plus plus factorial star is equal to I, and this is similar to factorial is equal to factorial star I. Okay, then I'm going to print the factorial. So whenever I'm giving 5, factorial is 5. So this is the thing how to find. Indeed, it's fine. Okay. So this is the code to find the factorial of number. So initially, I'm assigning 1 to the factorial variable. And now, next what I'm doing is from 1 to that particular number, because as if 5 means I want to go from 1 to that number 5, right? So I'm iterating a for loop, and in each step what I'm doing is factorial star is equal to I. So guys, is this fun, or should I have to show the the execution part of this code? If this is fine, it's fine. Or if I want to show the execution also, it's fine for me, because some will be I don't know how many of you are aware of this step, whether it's fine for you to understand or not. Nothing. See, in first step, the I value will be 1. Okay. Now fact will be, I mean factorial, I'm naming it as fact. Fact will be, fact is also, fact's default value is 1. So 1 star 1 will be the answer. Okay. In the next step, when the I value is 2, fact value will be 2 star 1. I mean 2 star fact. Initial step, I mean in the previous step, fact has 1. So 2 star 1. Okay. Next the I becomes 3. Fact is equal to 3 star fact. In the previous step, the value of fact was 2. So 3 star 2, it is 6. Then when the I becomes 4, fact is equal to 4 star fact. In the previous step, the fact value of was 6. So 4 star 6, it is 24. Okay. Then when it is 5, fact is equal to 5 star fact, which means 5 star 24, the answer is 120. And when fact becomes 6, this condition breaks, because 6 is not equal, less than or equal to 5. The condition breaks, and then the pointer comes out of the loop. That's fine, Shravani. So guys, is this fine? If this is fine, fatafat, we'll move on to the jump statements. We'll see only two jump statements we do have in Java: break and continue. And then I'll be showing you the syllabus, what we are going to cover. Then we'll wind up the session. Can do it. Great. So this is the logic behind how a factorial works. uh, a thing for you guys. So I don't know how many people have heard about the Fibonacci series. So Fibonacci series is quite very simple. It works in a similar way. I want you people to try out how to code Fibonacci series. Okay, using loops. Consequently, we'll be doing that too. Okay, so next thing, guys, I want response from your side. If this is fine only, I'll be going to the jump statements part. And I think we have already used break statement. So What about Kushi and Mr. Zero V? Varshika, we can move on. Sure. Okay. So next, let's see the usage of jump statements. Okay. So in Java, we do have two jump statements. One is break and continue. Already we have used break. So break is just being written in order to break the loop. Okay, if that condition is met. For example, I want to print the numbers from 1 to 10. Okay, but when my I is encountering the value 5, I want to break the loop. Okay, so I is equal to 1 to I is less than or equal to 10, I plus plus. So my condition is if I becomes 5, if I is equal to 5, then I want to break the loop. Or else part is not needed because once the condition is uh, given break, it just comes out of the for loop. System dot I. Okay. Yeah. So here my loop is going from 1 to 10. But when I is equal to 5, the condition the I am giving a break statement here, which means it tells the pointer to break the for loop. The for loop breaks and the pointer comes out of the for loop. Okay. But when I'm giving the jump statement continue here, what it does is it just skips that part and it moves on to the next execution. Now, when I give continue, if I is equal to 5, it just wait. I'll be printing here. Okay. So if I is equal to 5, continue. Then whenever I'm giving continue, whenever the pointer says continue, it doesn't worry about the next statements of the block. It again goes to the for loop and it gets executed. So that's the reason when I is equal to 5, continue is being given. So system dot out dot println line is not being executed. It again goes to the for loop. Now the I will be 6, so 6 is being printed. So this is the major difference between break and continue. Okay, these both are the jump statements in Java. Guys, are you clear with yeah, good. Fibonacci in the sense, it's not 1, yeah, 0, 1, 1. So every time the Fibonacci series, it starts from 0, 1, 1, and 2, 3, 5, 8. Yeah, you are correct. Vishesh, like why we use scanner in this code? Scanner is actually used in order to get the input from the user because whenever we are going to get the input from the user, we have to use scanner object in order to get the input from the user. Without using scanner object, we cannot get the input from the user. Okay, so this is all about the jump statement. So, okay, I thought of handling the methods declaration, but that's fine. Um, I think now you people will be understood of what is a method and how to declare it because we have written a couple of methods, right? Okay, so now I'll be showing you the syllabus which will be covered and then we'll be winding up. Okay, so this is the syllabus. So these are the concepts. There is no use of scanner. Yeah. Okay, you want me to comment out? I won't comment out. Wait. I'll get the number from the user and then I'll print it. The thing is, I haven't commented out or I haven't removed that. There's okay. Now, cool. Vishesh. Okay, so the concepts which will be covered is overview of Java features, structure of a Java program, variables and data types. I think control structures we are here. Then next we'll be seeing methods, arrays, strings, oops, concept, classes and objects. So tomorrow for the first hour, I'll be handling with arrays and strings. And then for the next class we'll be getting into introduction to OOPS. Then the next class we'll be seeing more on the OOPS concept. Okay, so day one it's over already. Day two it is conditional and control statements, methods and return types, arrays. uh okay, so I'll be handling all this tomorrow. And the third day it is Java strings and introduction to OOPS concepts, strings in Java, and the introduction to OOPS and its benefits. We'll be discussing more on the classes and objects part, and the constructors, the instance variables and methods, and about the access modifiers. I have already said, yeah, it's in day 4, Bishesh. Okay, so interface, we don't have interface in this I mean course, but still I'll tell you about the interface. Okay, in day 4 we do have concepts like inheritance, polymorphism, encapsulation and abstraction. So for implementing these concepts we need a strong backbone of OOPS concept. Okay, exception handling, if you need I'll be covering it. File handling usually we won't be using it mostly in competitive programming. Exception handling we can use. I'll be giving the structure of exception handling. It's just try, except and finally block, right? I'll be giving you. And these are all the additional, like materials and sources. So multi-threading, it comes in the advanced concept. So as I'm here to handle the core Java, I'll be telling you about what is a thread, because thread is a subunit of a process, right? So I'll be giving you an overview of what is a thread, but multi-threading concept we won't be handling in this sessions. So these are the syllabus for the session. Yeah, exception handling, I said I'll be handling it. Exception handling is important for backend. But do you people use Java in order to create a software product? I mean, people do use concepts enough, ma'am. Good. People do use Java as both front end as well as back end, because in Java we have concepts like swings. With the help of swings, we can handle the front end part. Okay. Okay. JE. Okay. It's good. Okay. So, guys, if you people do have any doubts, you can let me know in the chat. People use Java is more popular for security in every area. Yeah, that's true. Because nowadays industry people know, not nowadays, even in industry nowadays people are using Java for creating software products. They aren't using like SBI also use J in their backend. I think Bishesh is a great researcher. Yeah. So do you people have any doubts, or do you have any doubts in the coding part, or like do you have anything which we have studied yesterday? Today your task is, like you complete the Fibonacci series code, how to generate a Fibonacci series. Okay, and do work more on the pattern printing problems, because pattern printing is one of the main problem when it comes to interview. There are many complex pattern printing problems, like printing or something like alphabets, or like a diamond. We do have many things. Spring Boot. Okay. Yeah, we do use Spring Boot and all. Uh, but nowadays people are very comfortable with using Node.js, React, and not many people are using Java for front end as well as back end. Hibernate. What is that Hibernate? I don't know about Hibernate. Vishesh. Okay, guys. So if you are, can you provide PDF? I'll be sending it to your team. Okay. If you have any doubts, you can ask. Otherwise, we'll wrap up this session. Okay, Hibernate is a framework. Okay, cool.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, thank you so much, ma'am, and everybody who joined. I hope it was helpful to you guys. We will again more at this time. Thank you.